You know, the temperature right here, it's kind of straddling that 40-degree mark, but this cloth right here hopefully going to add another couple of precious degrees. Well, tonight is all about the strawberries, and this right here is what farmers are worried about. That moisture right there, that's going to build up and it's going to create frost. They want to wash that off before the sun hits in the morning, otherwise they're going to have a disaster. The entire brutal beating in this parking lot was caught on at least a dozen cell phone cameras, which is why deputies say they were able to catch their guy. What some may not know is about another plan to expand to the next property because it's not even mentioned. New at 11, a narcotics nightmare in Collier County. This week alone, deputies busted 3 illegal drug operations. It didn't take the county long to figure out how they were being gypped at the meters. Basically, the thieves were taking a penny, wrapping it in paper and inserting it into the meter, tricking it to think it was a quarter. Neighbors tell me that as soon as they put their mailbox up, in the middle of the night, it just gets knocked back down. Yeah, this is just one of the roads that you may drive down and notice it's a little bit darker than usual. Now, what you may not be able to see at home until I turn this light on is there's about 5 street lights that are turned off. Critical new developments tonight. Wink News is learning Cabrera may be a free man by next week. New at 11, one investor outraged after allegedly losing his entire savings. So what does this mean for you guys? Well, earlier in the year when we had that frost that killed tons and tons of strawberries, well, if you went to the store, you'd notice that you wound up paying nearly triple the amount. It states that she didn't show her loss in income was due to the oil spill. Well, today the claims facility changed their tune.
Renee Stoll is live with the latest details.
Yes, there's only a few deputy cars here on the side of 41, but let me tell you something. When we got here about a half an hour ago, this whole side of 41 was lined with sheriff's cars, 3 school buses, and over 100 kids. Let's take a look at some of that video we shot for you. Now, I'm told by the sheriff's office that they got a call that there was some type of disturbance on one of the school buses that was coming from Manatee Middle School. One of the students tells me it was something of a paper fight that had started. Now, deputies got here and a lot of the kids were already off the bus. That's when I understand a father wanted to pick up his daughter who was on one of those buses, and the deputies felt like he was not helping out with their investigation to find out what was going on. So they wound up tasing the man, and all of the students saw what happened. Take a listen.
Everybody saw. One of the kids was claustrophobic. She had to get off the bus. Yes. She couldn't breathe. Oh my God. She started hitting a lot of kids are crying.
Now, I also understand the sheriff's office says after they tased the man that they also found some type of drugs on him, and he's been arrested for controlled substance and resisting arrest. Now, we will have a full story on how this all unfolded for you coming up in our 10 and 11 o'clock news. Reporting live in East Naples, Renee Stoll, Wink News Now.
Renee Stoll, the only reporter on the scene tonight, telling us what happened at 11.
Yes, Stacy, from that sidewalk over there to right about here, dozens of students from Manatee Middle School stood by and watched as deputies tased one of the students' fathers. Now, a lot of parents have questions.
Kids were throwing food or paper, and that's how it stopped.
He stopped the bus.
That's how students say it all began. The bus driver called the sheriff's office for help with the rowdy kids after having to stop numerous times. 11-year-old Marissa Diaz says that's when her friend started to panic.
She kept on going like this with her shirt, and then she was shaking real bad. And then I said my other friend said, somebody get her out of here.
As kids started to pile onto the sidewalk, that's when one girl's father showed up wanting to take his daughter home. Deputies say the man started to act up, interrupting their investigation.
They're like, get on the ground, get on the ground. And then he's like, no. And then they tased him right in front of every student here.
And including her daughter.
Including her daughter.
A cop tased?
Yes.
I didn't know what to think because, I didn't know if it was their job to do this in front of us.
Diaz says it left most kids in tears.
I looked, and then everybody, they were all crying, and then he was on the floor.
She's only 11 to see this.
The 6th grader's mother was shocked when her daughter finally made it home, recapping the entire bus ride. And now she wants answers.
Did this bus driver do the right thing, for it to escalate this high? To have a child to have a panic attack and a father being tased her?
Now, the school district tells us that they are aware of the incident tonight. However, they won't be able to ask or answer any of our questions about policy until tomorrow. As for the dad, when they searched him, they found drugs on him as well. So he's in jail for that and resisting arrest tonight. Reporting live in East Naples, Renee Stoll, Wink News Now.
But these changes could make it much more noticeable. Renee Stoll's been tracking this story for us all day. She's live at the landfill with new details.
Yes, Chris, right now this landfill, the highest you're ever going to see it is 108 feet. Well, the county wants to take it up to the maximum height that's allowed by the state.
Even though you put it curbside, it doesn't just go away.
Your garbage ends up here at the Collier County landfill, but this space can only hold so much, and the cheapest way to keep it in use will be to build up.
If we extend the landfill another 65, 70 feet, we'll gain an additional 20 years of capacity, which has a value of about $100 million.
If you think the views behind me on top of this landfill look pretty amazing, well, it's because we're at the highest point in Collier County, 108 feet high. Picture this nearly doubling to this 18-story building, nearly 200 feet tall. That's how high the landfill could be in the future if this change were to go through.
Landfills are an issue, but this is the devil that we know, so to speak.
Brad Cornell with the Audubon Society thinks the county's best bet is to use what they have and go higher. It may not be the most welcoming vision when entering Collier County, since the landfill runs parallel with Alligator Alley, but finding a spot for another one is near impossible.
Habitat and wetland concerns, you know, it's really hard to permit a landfill anywhere you go.
There are plenty of options with other waste. Unfortunately, they're very expensive. You could build a waste energy facility. You could ship your waste to another county.
Now, the county has done an excellent job of extending the life of this landfill by 25 years because they recycle so much of what they receive here. However, if you want to have your say on the county expanding vertically, well, there's going to be a meeting for the public. It's going to be next Tuesday in Golden Gate. You can be sure that Wink News will be there. Reporting live in Collier County, Renee Stoll, Wink News Now.